Oh, 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 no.
I don't need negative energy, wrap me in positive synergy. I have been doubted through life, been never done that with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong, been struggling too long. This song is for you, I'm proving you wrong.
Get out my way, get out my way, get out my way. Get out my way.
I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.
I love you, and tonight I'm gonna take it real slow. I understand what you told me, and if I didn't know, I always wanted someone just like you. I really need to love you. I give the world to you, oh my darling. You know I will. Yeah, yeah, you know I will. I surely will. I will never do anything to hurt you. Wouldn't do one single thing to your I'll give all my love to you. I'll give you every bit of my love, baby. I'm running, yes I will. Only to you. Yeah, my baby, yes I will. Why don't we just lay down, baby, and hold each other real close? 'Cause I don't wanna rush it, man. Nah. If time is what you need the most. I always wanted to love you. You can make all my dreams come true. I wanna love you tonight, oh my darling. Yes, I do. Yeah. Never do anything to her. I will never do one little thing to you, baby. Oh, my love to you. And I'm gonna give you every bit of my love tonight, girl. I'll come running, only to you. Only to you, baby. Girl, I've been longing for you, baby, for a long, long time. Yeah, let's make love tonight, baby. I can make it feel real good, baby. I can make it feel real good, baby. Sometimes I get a little lonely, baby. And I need somebody I can call all mine.
Say you are the one to blame. I know that you are the one to blame. Yeah. Oh, oh, baby, baby, baby. And if you leave me, baby, I'll go running only to you. Alexa, stop. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing? Man, it is Saturday. It is Saturday. It is time. We finally got these transcripts. At least day 8 and day 9. So we finally got them, y'all. Finally, yes. If you would like to donate towards the transcripts by donating, you can either hit This Blessed House, which is my Cash App, or Robert Keller's, or Diva the Divine Light. What's going on, y'all? Let me run through this real quick, and then we are going to get started. All right, Miss Angie, what's going on? What it do, boss? Karen J. 100 Devices is in the building. Thomas Reese, what's going on? What's going on? Let me see. Miss Karen J, thank you very much for the super chat. I do appreciate that. She said, tap the thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Yes, if you have not subscribed to this channel, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all of the notifications, because we're about to really put the work in, y'all. We about to put the work in. Miss Alice Clark, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tanya Verley, how you doing? What's going on? Alma Queen Newton is in the building. Lasting Impressions by Kim. Let me see here. Let me see. I see. Oh, yeah, that's the groove, man. See, a lot of y'all don't know that. Like, people like, who is Angie Walker? Miss Ann, our channel by Ann, she don't know nothing about no Keith Sweat and all that. That's back in my day. So I'm old school. I'm an OG in these streets. You know what I'm saying? So y'all young folk don't know nothing about that kind of stuff. Especially Miss Angie. She really don't know nothing about that. Let me see here. Purple. Ty. Philly Witherspoon. What's going on? Tarsha, what's up? All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Jacqueline Jones, Poo. What's up? All right, y'all. Let's get going. All right. If you did send me money towards the transcripts, I already sent out to 3 people already. Day 8 and day 9. If you do cash at me, I will send you. As y'all know, I send out all the ones that I have. Right now, we have all the way up to day 9. We still need to get, I think we got $30 towards day 10, 11, 12, and 13. So we still got 4 more to get. Black Girl Beauty, what's going on? All right, y'all. So what we're going to be doing today is jumping straight into this. Shout out to my sister Diva. And Robert Keller and everybody out there who has put in, whether you put in $50, $10, $5, like it all adds up. So y'all keep being a blessing. I'll make sure that you all get copies of whatever I have. Okay. So let me pull this up so we can get flowing and get going. Let me see here what we got. This is on new tab. Hold on. Where you at? Boom, open. Let's see, day 9. Let's see, day 8. Day 7. Y'all give me a minute here as I pull this up. Downloads. Day 8. Where are you? Okay. Edit. Recently closed tab. New window. Okay, hold on. Recently closed tab. New window. All right, here we go. Boom. Boom. Open file. Edit. Recent. Where you go with? Oh, recent items right there. Okay. So go in here. Go here. Recent items. Where you at? Detected. Okay. Day 8, day 9. Make sure I got it right. There we go. Okay, we good, y'all. We good. Let me just share this with y'all. Boom. Day 8. Okay. So let me go here. Let me share my screen. All right, let's get it. Chrome. Got an extra window. So go new tab right here. Go here. Okay. So there you go. Make sure y'all can see what I see. Hold on. Stop this. All right, give me one moment here. Pull this up right here. That's not the right one. 714, 715, 713. Minimize this. Okay, so I minimize that. Now go over here. Go into my new tab, which I want to share with y'all. Share screen. I'm gonna go to window. StreamYard. Share. I see it. Y'all hold real quick. Pull this up. File. Open file. Recents. Watermarked. There we go. Okay. Y'all hold one moment. Hold on. Share screen. Boom. There we go. All right, hold on. What in the heck is this thing doing? Stop. Welcome everybody. I'm just getting this thing figured out here. It's being a little difficult. Let's see here. Welcome everybody. We are about to get into this. Day 8. Boom. Here we go. Now we're talking. 8, there we go. Okay. Now let's go in here. File. Open. Documents. Day 8, where you at? There you go. Thank you. Okay. Let me share this with y'all. Share. Boom. Share screen. Share screen. Boom. 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 There we go. Okay, so y'all can see this. All right, there we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let me open this up so y'all can see it. Okay, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. United States District Court, Eastern District of New York. United States of America versus Robert Sylvester Kelly. This was August 30th, 2021. As you can see, the appearances were from the government, Jacqueline M. Kasulis, of course, Devereaux Canick, and all them was up in there. You see they changed the court reporter. So that's probably what was the reason why stuff was taking so long to get sent to us. But here we go. So I'm going to be reading from 1713 all the way to 1743. Okay? So y'all give me one moment. Okay. All right, y'all. So the judge says, courtroom deputy says, all rise. Court says, the judge says, hi, everybody. Y'all can have a seat. The defendant enters the room. The judge says, all right, can I just see the parties that decide on that application from this weekend with the court reporter? So this was actually a sealed sidebar. This was a sealed sidebar. So they're not letting us know what they said in the sidebars. Y'all know a lot of times we see them sidebars. They be giving us a lot of information that you simply cannot get from being in the courtroom, right? But that's all right. That's all right. All right, so here we go. So let's see what we got going on here. So as y'all see, sidebar. So they redacted all of this stuff that was going on at the sidebar. As you see, they redacted and took all these pages out. It looks like about 5-6 pages that they took out. Wow. So can you imagine what they had to talk about during that time? All right, now we're about to get into it. So the jury was not present at this time. The judge says, all right, are we ready for the jurors? Do we have a witness? And then let me see. We don't, do we? Ms. Cruz Melendez, she is the government attorney. She said, we do, Your Honor. Hold on. We do, Your Honor. We don't have a witness currently on the stand. And then the judge says, okay. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull this up. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. Boom. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Testing. Okay, perfect. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay, good. All right, so the judge starts off and says, all right, are we ready for the jurors? Do we have any witnesses? We don't. Ms. Cruz Melendez said, we do, Your Honor. We don't have a witness currently on the stand. The judge says, okay. Ms. Cruz Melendez said, I thought you were asking if we had a witness here and ready. The judge says, that's what I meant. I couldn't remember how we finished on Friday, but now I do. All right, let's get our jurors. The judge says, which witness is testifying? And then Ms. Cruz Melendez says, Addie, Your Honor. And then the judge says, do you know which binder that's in alphabetically? Miss Mack says 1. The special agent Shabbat says, may I get the witness? The judge says you may as well, bringing her in. Yes. The court deputy says, all rise. The jury enters the courtroom. The judge says you may be seated. Oh, sorry. The courtroom deputy says you may be seated. The judge says, all right, good morning, everybody. I hope you had a good weekend. We are ready to begin. I just want to see counsel for a minute off the record about scheduling. The discussion is off the record. So the judge says, okay, before we start, I know last week I told you that we will be working on Friday. We are only going to be working until 1 o'clock. I think we're moving along at a good pace, but we are going to stop at 1 o'clock. We are going to stop at 1 o'clock on Friday, just if that matters into just if that figures into your plans at all. All right, the government has another witness. Are we ready to call in? Ms. Cruz Melendez says, yes, Your Honor. The government calls Addie to the stand. So the witness takes the stand. The courtroom deputy says, please stand and raise your right hand. The witness is sworn in. The courtroom deputy says, thank you. You may be seated. You could take off your mask. So the judge says, all right, good morning. The witness says, good morning. The judge says, let's make sure that the microphone is working. Is it on? Addie says, hello. The courtroom deputy says, on the top. The witness says, hello. The judge says, now it's on. Great. Just a couple of things before we begin. Our court reporter takes down everything that everybody says. And so I'm going to ask you to speak slowly just to make the court reporter's job a little easier. And for the same reason, don't talk over whichever lawyer is asking you questions. Just wait until they're finished with the question and then give your number or then give your answer. If there is a question that you don't understand or you like to have repeated, let me know and I will have the lawyer rephrase it, okay? Addie says, okay. Then the judge says, and then finally, just do your best to answer only the question that you are being asked, okay? Addie says, okay. The judge says, go ahead, Ms. Cruz Melendez. Ms. Cruz Melendez says, thank you, Your Honor. So this is going to be the direct examination from the government lawyer, Ms. Cruz Melendez, and Addie is the witness, okay? So Addie comes up. Let me plug this in, charge my phone. There we go. All right, so Addie comes up and is called as witness, having been first duly sworn and affirmed, was examined and testified as follows. So this is the direct examination. Here we go. So the lawyer says, good morning. Addie says, good morning. Ms. Cruz Melendez says, I'm showing just the witness what's been marked for identification purposes as Government's Exhibit 56. Do you see that there? Addie says, yes. The lawyer says, do you recognize that? Addie says, yes. The lawyer says, and what is that? And what is it? Addie says, it's a picture of me. The lawyer said, and approximately how old were you in this photograph? The lawyer says, Addie says, in my teens, probably around 17 or 18. Ms. Cruz Melendez says, Your Honor, the government offers Government's Exhibit 56. The judge says, the judge says, I'm going to remind the witness, just keep your voice up. Addie says, okay. The judge says, that's better. Great. Mr. Koenig said, no objection, Your Honor. The judge says, it's in evidence. Government's Exhibit 56 received in evidence. Ms. Cruz Melendez said, Your Honor, both permission to publish to the jury and to the public. Then the court says, sure. The above referred to exhibit was published. Ms. Cruz Melendez said, I'm now showing just the witness what's been marked for identification purposes as Government's Exhibit 56A by Ms. Cruz Melendez. The lawyer says, do you see Government's Exhibit 56A there? Addie says, yes. The lawyer said, and is that the same photograph that was pictured in Government's Exhibit 56? Addie says, yes. And the lawyer said, and is your true name listed at the bottom of Government's Exhibit 56A? Addie says, yes. Ms. Cruz Melendez says the government moves to admit it. Mr. Koenig says no objection. The judge says, okay, that's in evidence. And then Government's Exhibit 56A received in evidence. And then the judge says, Mr. Koenig, do you mind turning on your microphone? Ms. Cruz Melendez says, Your Honor, we ask that it be published just to the jury. The judge says, okay. The lawyer says, I'm now showing the witness only Government's Exhibit 56B. The lawyer says, is that the same picture as in Government's Exhibit 56 and 56A? Addie says, yes. The lawyer says, okay, is that your nickname, Addie, listed underneath there? Addie says yes. The lawyer says the government moves to admit government's Exhibit 56B. Addie said no objection. The judge said that's an evidence. Government's Exhibit 56B received an evidence. Ms. Cruz Melendez said, we ask that it be published to both the jury and the public, please. The above referred to exhibit was published by Ms. Cruz Melendez. Then the lawyer said, Addie, where did you grow up? Addie said, I grew up in the Bronx. The lawyer said, anywhere else? Addie said, I grew up in Florida, in Miami, Florida, in Homestead. The lawyer said, and what kinds of hobbies did you do growing up? Addie said, I had hobbies in dancing, singing, acting, and I also like to write poems and songs. The lawyer said, well, what types of dance did you enjoy doing? Addie said, ballet, modern, jazz, and breakdancing. The lawyer said, did you graduate from high school? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, now, after graduating from high school, what, if any, schooling did you have? Addie said, well, I got my AA degree from New World School of the Arts. The lawyer said, what's an AA degree? Addie said, it's an Associate of the Arts. The lawyer said, what kind of schools is New World School of the Arts? Addie said, it's a conservatory school. The lawyer said, can you please explain to the jurors what a conservatory school is? Addie said, it's a school where you go for either dance, theater, music, or performing arts. The lawyer said, and what did you study while you were at the conservatory? Addie said, I studied dance and theater. The lawyer said, did you graduate from the conservatory? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, now, you testified that growing up, you enjoyed dancing, singing, and acting, and that you went to a conservatory for studying performing arts. Were you interested in pursuing dance or other performing arts as a profession growing up? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, and did you, in fact, pursue dancing and singing and acting professionally? Addie said, yes, I did. The lawyer said, and in what ways? Addie said, the performances, shows, went on auditions. I did a couple of writings and music-wise as well. The government said, did you book any jobs as a dancer or singer or actor? Addie said, yes, I did. The government said, well, what kinds of jobs? Addie said, I booked some jobs with performances, one like Lyricist Lounge, which was an opening act. Another was a production work as written Law and Order here in New York as well. The lawyer said, in addition to your degree from the conservatory, do you have any other degrees? Addie said, yes, I do. The lawyer said, what kind of degree do you have? Addie said, I have a degree in business. The lawyer said, what kind of degree in business? Addie said, mostly general international business law. The lawyer said, are you employed? Addie said, I'm self-employed. The lawyer said, and how are you self-employed? Addie said, I run 2 businesses. The lawyer said, what kind of businesses? Addie said, one is a multimedia production and business development, and the other one is a car business. The lawyer said, are you familiar with an individual named Robert Kelly, also known as RKelly? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, and I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government's Exhibit 1. Do you recognize the individual in Government's Exhibit 1? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, and who is that? Addie said, that's Robert Kelly. The lawyer said, and prior to today, have you met Robert Kelly in person? Addie said, prior to today, only one time. The lawyer said, now, do you see Robert Kelly in the courtroom here today? Addie said, I probably over there, but I need to see the faces. The masks are hiding their face. Yes. The lawyer said, can you point him out and identify an item of clothing he's wearing? Addie said, he's sitting right there by the in the blue blazer next to the gentleman with the striped tie. The lawyer said, the judge says, indicating the defendant. The lawyer said, now, you previously testified that you met the defendant on one occasion. Where did you meet the defendant? Addie said, I met the defendant at a concert. The lawyer said, and where is the concert? Addie said, the concert was in Miami, Florida. The lawyer said, and do you remember what venue the concert was held at? Addie said, it was called American Miami Arena. The name of the concert was Budweiser Fest or Superfest. The lawyer said, and Miami Arena, where is that? Addie said, it's in Miami, Florida. The lawyer said, sitting here today, do you recall the date of the concert? Addie said, it was September of 1994. The lawyer said, okay, now, at the time that you attended the concert, how old were you? The lawyer said, Addie said, I was 17 years old. The lawyer said, and were you attending high school at the time? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, and where were you at high school? Were you at high school in Florida? Addie said, yes, it was Homestead High. The lawyer said, do you recall which grade you were in at the time? Addie said, junior high. The lawyer said, now, you mentioned that you went to this concert at Miami Arena. How did you obtain tickets to the concert? Addie said, my mom had friends that worked at Power 96 that gave her VIP tickets. The lawyer said, and did you get the tickets from your mom? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, okay, and what's Power 96? Addie said, Power 96 is a radio station. The lawyer said, and what kinds of tickets did you have for the show? Addie said, it was all access passes, VIP. The government said, I'm showing just the witness, what's been marked for identification purposes as Government's Exhibit 201. May I approach, Your Honor? The judge said, yes. The lawyer said, Addie, do you recognize what's in Government's Exhibit 201? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, and what is it? Addie said, it's a program from the concert. The lawyer said, the concert that you went to in 1994, September. Addie said, yes. The government said, Your Honor, the government moves to admit. The judge says, any objection? Candidate said, may I see it? Mr. Candidate said, no objection. The judge said, all right, that's in evidence. Government's Exhibit 201 received in evidence. The government said, permission to publish, Your Honor. The judge says, yes, this can go to the jury and to the public. The lawyer said, now, you mentioned that the concert that you recall, the concert was a festival involving Budweiser. Is that correct? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, now, do you see the name on Government's Exhibit 201 of the concert? Addie said, yes, on top of the brochure. The lawyer said, okay, and what is that name? Addie said, Budweiser Superfest. The lawyer said, and you had previously mentioned that you recall the concert occurred in September of 1994. Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, now, looking at, well, first and foremost, what do you see here in the center of Government's Exhibit 201? Addie said, that is the access pass that was given to me and my best friend for attending. The lawyer said, and here, does it say 1994? Addie says, yes. The lawyer said, and at the top of it says Budweiser Superfest 2, all access. Addie said, yes. The lawyer says, looking at all access pass. Looking at the all access pass here, does that refresh your recollection as to the date of the concert? Addie says yes. The lawyer said, what was the date? Addie says September 2nd of 1994. The lawyer said, now, did you attend the concert alone? Addie says, no, I attended the concert with my best friend. The lawyer said, and how old is your best friend at the time? Addie says, she was 19. The lawyer said, how did you and your friend get to the concert? Addie said, my mom lent me her car. The lawyer said, so did you drive to the concert? Addie said, yes, I drove. The lawyer said, was the defendant the only performer at the concert, or were there other musical acts? Addie said there were various artists at the time. The government said, what artists do you recall were scheduled to perform at the concert? Addie said, well, the main artist that I went to see was Aaliyah. There was also, I believe, Salt and Pepper. There was also Heavy D. I believe also Coolio. There was another artist, but I don't recall. The lawyer said, now, you testified that you had wanted to see Aaliyah at the concert. Addie says, yes, that was the main reason why we went. The lawyer said, and were you a fan of her music? Addie said, yes, I was. The lawyer said, now, did she perform at the concert? Addie said, unfortunately, she didn't perform. The lawyer said, and did the defendant perform at the concert? Addie said, yes, he did. The lawyer said, and were you a fan of his music? Addie said, yeah, it was okay. The lawyer said, prior to this concert, had you ever been to any of the defendant's performances? Addie said, no. The lawyer said, do you recall what you were wearing at the concert? Addie said, yeah, I was wearing sneakers, a pair of white shorts, and a t-shirt. The lawyer said, now, you previously testified about having all access passes for the concert. Do you recall where your seats were for the concert? Addie says, yes, the right side of the main stage near like the access towards the back. The lawyer said, how close were you to the stage? Addie said, we were pretty close. The lawyer said, and what section were you in? Addie said, we were in right, I would say maybe the third row seating from within the VIP. So the lawyer said, within the VIP section. Addie said, yes. The government said, did you and your friends stay for the entire show? Addie said, yes, we did. The government said, and approximately how long did the concert last? She said about 2 hours. The lawyer said, did you recall who the closing act was for the concert? She said, RKelly was the closing act. The lawyer said, and can you explain to the jury what happened after the concert ended? Addie said, when the concert ended, like a couple of minutes afterwards, there was some gentleman that approached me and my best friend asking us if we would like to go backstage to get an autograph. The lawyer said, and when they approached, did they ask who you would be getting? Koenig said, objection. The judge says, well, sustained as to form. What did they say to you? Addie said, they asked me if I wanted to go. Me and my best friend wanted to get autographs from RKelly. The government said, and can you describe the two men who approached you and your friend? Thank you, West Coast Bellis. You're welcome. Thank you. And your friend. Addie said, they were African-American, looked like bouncers. The lawyer said, now, prior to being approached by these two individuals, had you intended to go backstage? Addie said, no. The lawyer said, now, they mentioned getting an autograph from the defendant. Prior to that, had you gotten any other autographs at that time? Addie said, in the VIP section, there were other artists there, and we were getting autographs from other artists as well. The lawyer said, do you recall who you got an autograph from? Addie said, Luke was one of them, and I believe there was another artist, but I don't recall. The lawyer said, I'm showing again, Government's Exhibit 201. Do you see Government's Exhibit 201 on the screen? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, and is there writing on Government's Exhibit 201? Addie said, yes. That's the autograph from Luke. The lawyer said, who is Luke? Addie said, Luke was a rapper, a more explicit rapper. The lawyer said, and did you get Luke's autograph? Addie said, he was in the VIP section where we were sitting at. The lawyer said, now, you testified that two men approached you, and they asked you if you wanted to go backstage to get an autograph from the defendant. Had you intended to go backstage prior to that? Koenig said, objection. The judge says, I think you already asked her that. Ms. Cruz Melendez said, I did, Your Honor. The lawyer said, why hadn't you? I think you testified that you hadn't intended to go backstage before that. Why hadn't you intended to go backstage? Addie said, we weren't. I didn't intend to go backstage because, during the performance, I think like towards the end, they said, you can come, there are, women can come backstage, if you are over the age of 18. So I automatically assumed because I was under the age, I wasn't able to go back there. The lawyer said, who said you couldn't go backstage unless you were 18 years old? Addie said, RKelly made the announcement at the end of his performance. The lawyer said, where was he when he made that announcement? Addie says, on stage. The lawyer said, now, at the time that the two men approached you, asking you if you wanted to get the defendant's autograph, did they ask you how old you were? Addie said, no. The lawyer said, did they ask to see any identification? Addie said, no. The lawyer said, and after the two men approached you, did you then go backstage? Addie said, me and my friend followed them backstage, yes, into a dressing room. The lawyer said, when you got to the dressing room, did anyone check your identification? Addie said, no. The lawyer said, when you got to the dressing room, did anyone ask you when you first got to the dressing room, did anyone ask you how old you were? Addie said, no. The lawyer said, when you entered the dressing room, was the defendant in that room? Addie said, yes. He was in the room being interviewed by the media. There were also other publications that were there. The government said, now, aside from the media who were interviewing the defendant and the men who had escorted you into the dressing room, were there any other concert goers in the room? Addie said, no, it was mostly just media. The government said, so what happened once you entered the room? Addie said, me and my best friends, followed the other guys, the two bouncers that escorted us there into the room. And then once we got into the room, pretty much he stopped his interview. We approached him, and that's when we engaged in a conversation. The government said, now, when you approached the defendant, did he acknowledge you? Addie said, yes. The government said, and what, if anything, did you say to the defendant? Addie said, I pretty much went up to him. So, with my program to see if I could get an autograph. The government said, and did you in fact get an autograph? Addie said, yes. He asked me for my name, and I let him know my name was Addie, and he was signing the program. The government said, so I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government's Exhibit 201. This is the other side of the program, correct? Addie said, correct. The lawyer said, and do we see here on Government's Exhibit 201 the defendant's autograph? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, and where is that? Addie said, it's in the right upper mid portion of the program. The government said, here where I have my pen indicated. Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, and it says here to Addie. Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, who wrote that? Addie said, RKelly. The government said, how did he know to write that? Addie said, I told him my name. The government said, when you were speaking with him, when he was signing your program, what, if anything else, did you discuss? Addie said, when I approached him, I pretty much told him my name. He signed the program. I told him that I was an inspiring artist as well. He also wrote down a room number suggesting to come by to his hotel for an audition. Dang, here we go. The government said, what, if anything else, did you discuss? Addie said, basically, I also towards the end, I also told him that I wasn't sure if I was even allowed to be in the room because I was 17 years old. The lawyer said, now you previously mentioned that the defendant wrote down a room number on the program. Addie says, yes. The government said, is that shown on Government's Exhibit 201? Addie said, at the bottom right side. The government said, here where I have my pen indicated. Addie says, correct. The government said, can you read that for the jury? Addie said, room number 1031. The government said, and what was that, a room number 2? Addie said, to a hotel. The government said, and what, if anything, did the defendant say to you about this room number in the hotel? Addie said, he verbally told me what hotel it was. I don't recall the hotel, but he wrote down the room number as well on the program. The government said, now you also testified that you spoke with the defendant about the fact that you were interested in dance and that you were a dancer. What, if anything, did the defendant say to you about that? Addie says, well, that's the whole purpose of him, I'm assuming, writing down the room number was for me to go after, to do an audition, or to talk about maybe future opportunities. The lawyer said, did he speak with you about possible future opportunities? Addie said, he engaged with me quickly about going to the hotel to do an audition later, and also mentioned something about an after party. Oh boy, this is crazy. The lawyer said, so what happened after you got the defendant's autograph and had this conversation with him? Addie said, as soon as I told him that I thought I was underage and I was 17 years old, he didn't respond about my age. he would speak to whatever bouncers, and quickly after that, they had everybody escorted to the room. The lawyer said, and when you say they, what do you mean? Who are you referring to? Addie said, the two gentlemen that RKelly had talked to. The lawyer said, and so who left the room? Addie said, all the media that were basically stopped doing his interview, and they escorted everybody out. The government said, did you leave? Addie said, no. The lawyer said, what about your friend? Did your friend stay? Addie said, yes, she stayed as well. The lawyer said, how did you know to stay? Addie said, they told us to stay. The government said, who is they? Addie said, the bouncer said to just stay here. And he was engaging with us. And then he had everybody else escorted out of the room, out of the dressing room. The lawyer said, so once the interviewers were out of the dressing room, who, if anyone else, was left in the dressing room? Addie said there was only RKelly, me, and my best friend. The government said, can you describe the dressing room? Addie said, when you enter into the dressing room on the right-hand side, there's an audio equipment that was mobile. Towards the back side of the room, there's a dressing area there. I guess you can put your makeup and get ready for your performance. On the left side, that was just a wall. In the middle of the room, there was a bunch of chairs that they were giving interviews with him. The government said, so what happened since you and your friend were alone in the dressing room with the defendant? Addie said, we started engaging. It was very subtle, and we started talking. He wanted to play a game practically and asked if who can kiss better. The lawyer said, prior to him asking you who could kiss better, what did you discuss? Addie said he was talking about a new song he was working on for a soundtrack called Low Down Dirty Shame. Not sure if I have the right movie soundtrack, but he went to the audio equipment, and started playing a song. The lyrics of the song went something like, homie, love a friend, which is the only thing I kind of remembered from that single soundtrack that he was playing. The government said, so you testified that after you had spoken, the defendant said that he wanted to see which one of you kissed better. Addie said, yeah, well, when he played the song, that's when he started, pretty much saying, I want to know which of you can kiss better. The government said, and what happened next? Addie said, he started kissing on my best friend. The government said, and did she kiss him back? Addie said, briefly, but then he kind of started kissing me, and he started with her, and then he started to kiss me. And the lawyer said, and did you kiss him back? Addie said, at first, then I felt a little overwhelmed, so I started pulling away. The government said, now, when the defendant started kissing you, what, if anything, what was your reaction to that? Addie said, at first, initially shocked. Then the government said, how much time passed between when the defendant started playing the music and then he said to you and your friend, I want to play this game, seeing who could kiss better? Addie said it was throughout the song. Lawyer said, so after the defendant started kissing you, what happened next? Addie said he started getting a little more aggressive and basically kind of moved towards the back of the room where I was facing the dressing area. And that's when he started engaging in on like holding my wrists and then unzipping my pants and pretty much pulled them down and started having sexual intercourse with me. The lawyer said, so you mentioned that the defendant moved you. Where did he move you to? Addie said, well, we were in the middle of the room, and then he started guiding me towards the back of the room. Government said, you testified that the defendant pulled down your shorts and started to have sex with you. Where were you and how were you positioned? Addie said, I was facing the front. I was in front of the counter and he was behind me. The lawyer said, and when you say that the defendant started to have sex with you, what did you mean? Addie said he had sex with me unprotected and penetrated my vagina. The lawyer said, what, if anything, did you say when the defendant penetrated your vagina? And I'm sorry, what did he use to penetrate your vagina? Addie said, his penis. The lawyer said, and what, if anything, did you say when this was happening? She said, at this point, I was in complete shock and I was kind of just very introverted and shy and didn't know what to expect or what to say at all, just basically went blank. The lawyer said, did your friend participate at all when the defendant began having sexual intercourse with you? Addie said, he grabbed her hands to try to make her participate, but she refused. The lawyer said, at some point, did the defendant finish having intercourse with you? Addie says, yes. The lawyer said, and what, if anything, did you do once the defendant was finished? Addie said, basically, I got, pulled everything back up, and me and my friend we went to the door, unlocked the door, and ran out of there. The lawyer said, and what happened once you ran out of the dressing room? Addie said, we were in the parking lot and me and my best friend were discussing about what happened with the situation. And my best friend wanted to call the police and press charges. The lawyer said, and how were you feeling at the time? Addie said, at the time, I was very scared and nervous. I didn't feel comfortable about talking about the situation, and informing the police was something that it was very uncertain for me to do at the time. I didn't even know if they would believe me. I didn't want to get victim shamed. The lawyer said, and so at that time, did you report what happened to the police or any law enforcement? Addie said, no. I assumed that if I were to move forward with that, I wouldn't be able to move forward with my career and be blacklisted from the industry. Government says, Your Honor, one moment. Nothing further, Your Honor. The judge says, okay, cross-examination. Mr. Canning said, 1 second, please, Your Honor. The judge said, sure. Mr. Canning said, thank you, Your Honor. So here go Mr., as they call him, Mechanic. He just pretty much raped that damn girl in that room right in front of her friend. This dude's a freaking monster, man. Here go the cross. Mechanic said, good morning. You testified and told us that you attended this concert in September 1994. Addie said, yes. Mechanic said, now, when you first met with the government, you gave them a different date. Did you not? See, this the kind of stuff he do right here. This is a prime example. if any of y'all have watched me read these, what Canick does is he takes some of the littlest minor details about something that don't really freaking matter, and that's what he uses to manipulate and make these witnesses look like they're straight liars. Right here. What the hell does the date on when she went to the damn concert matter if she got raped by the man? Talk about what matters. Let's read on. You testified and told us you attended this concert in September 1994. Addie said yes. Mechanic said, now when you first met with the government, you gave them a different date. Did you not? Addie said, no. Canick said, isn't it a fact that you told the government that this concert was in 1992? Addie said, not that I recall, no. Canick said, not that you recall. Addie said, no. Canick said, I'm going to show this document and direct your attention to the highlighted portion with the red line and see if that refreshes your recollection. If you told the government that you went to his concert in 1992, Addie said, I don't recall. Canick said, you don't recall? Addie said, no. Canick said, no. It's on the document, though, right? Addie said, yes. Canick said, and when you did, in fact, speak with the government before coming here for testimony, right? Addie said, yes. Canick said, and when you spoke to the government, they took notes. Am I correct? Addie said, yes. Canick said, and you were the only person giving them information. Am I correct? Addie said, yes. Canick said, and in fact, when you were there, you had that program. Am I correct? Addie said, correct. Canick said, and how long have you had that program? Addie said, since I was 17 years old. Canick said, so you had that program for, according to you, 25 years. Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, and that's if the concert was in 1994. If it was in 1992, it will be 27 years. Addie said, I don't understand the question. Canick said, when you had it, you had it since 1992. That will be 27 years that you had the program, right? Addie said, but I didn't. It was 1994. Canick said, okay. Now, where did you keep the program? Addie said, I had it with other memorabilia in a box. Canick said, so someone raped you according to you, and you kept that program as a memorabilia. Oh, my fucking goodness. Wow. It's a dirty game with this trial, y'all. This a dirty game. Wow. Addie said, that box has been in. Canick said, I didn't ask you that. Someone raped you, and according to you, someone raped you, according to you, and you kept the program as a memorabilia. Addie said, the program was in a box. Yes. Canick said, now you testified that you didn't believe that anyone would believe your story about the supposed rape. Remember telling us that? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, now you hired a lawyer. Am I correct? Addie said, yes. The lawyer said, what's the lawyer's name? Addie said, Leon Walsh. Canick said, this is the lawyer? Addie said, yes. Kenny said, he's here with you today. Addie said, yes.
I'm not sure I understand.
The lawyer said, now, did you sue R. Kelly? Addie said, no. Kennick said, do you plan on suing R. Kelly? Kennick said, Addie said, no. Kennick said, so you just happened to invite this lawyer to come and watch you testify. Addie said, legally, I needed representation. Judge Kennick said, my question is, did you just happen to invite this lawyer to come and watch you testify today? The government said, objection. The judge says, you should just let her finish the answer, please. Kennick said, sure. Addie said, I hired a lawyer to make sure that legally I was represented. Kennick said, when did you hire the lawyer? Addie said, I don't recall the exact dates. Kennick said, did you hire the lawyer after the documentary called Surviving R. Kelly? Addie said, it was actually prior to that. Kennick said, it was prior to that. Now, when you hired the lawyer, did you at any point go to the law enforcement before hiring the lawyer? Addie said, yes, I did. Kennick said, what year did you go to law enforcement? Addie said, I believe it was in January 2019. Kennick said, so January of 2019. So if this happened according to you in 1994, 95 went by. Am I correct? Addie said, correct. Lawyer said, now, when you went to law enforcement, when you went to law enforcement, Addie said, correct. The lawyer said 96. Addie says, yes. Lawyer said 97. Addie said, yes. Lawyer said 98, 99. Addie said, yes. Lawyer said 2000. Ms. Melendez says, objection, Your Honor. The judge says, I think she said she hired the lawyer in 2019. So, Kennick says, so basically, let's do the math. 2019 minus 1994. How many years went by before you went to law enforcement? Addie says, I don't know. Like what, 25 years? Kennick said, 25 years. Addie said, yes. Kennick said, now, during that entire time, you were traumatized, right? Addie said, yes. Kennick said, you were humiliated, right? Addie said, yes. Kennick said, and that humiliation and trauma did not cause you to go to law enforcement until 25 years later. Addie says, hello, the mic is off. The judge says, maybe you want to put the question again. We had to change the battery. Do you mind reading back this question? The record was read. Addie said, I didn't go to law enforcement because I didn't want more victim shaming and more trauma at that time. Kennick said, at that time. Addie said, yes. Kennick said, now, there came a time that the victim shaming, according to you, didn't bother you any longer. Am I correct? Addie said, I'm an adult now, so no, I am no longer a little girl. Kennick said, well, you were not an adult in 2001, am I correct? Addie said, everybody deals with trauma differently. Kenneth said, I didn't ask you that. You told us you are an adult now and you're no longer a little girl. And my question is, were you an adult back in 2000? And you were an adult back in 2001. Am I correct? Addie says, yes. 2002, am I correct? Addie says, yes. Kenneth said, 2000. Government says, objection. Kenneth says, 5. Am I correct? Judge says, overruled. Addie says, yes. Kenneth said, 2010. Am I correct? Addie says, yes. Kenneth said, 2015. Am I correct? Addie says, yes. Kenneth said, okay, you listened to a person called Kim Fox. Do you remember that? Addie said, yes. Kenneth said, Kim Fox is a prosecutor in Chicago. Am I correct? Addie said, yes. Kenneth said, and Kim Fox went on the news and said, anyone who has information about R. Kelly, contact me or go to law enforcement. Am I correct? Addie says, I believe that she said any victims to please step forward. Kenneth said, and according to you, you hired your lawyer before that. Am I correct? Addie said, I'm not sure if it was before that or afterwards. Kenneth said, okay, so now you're not sure. Addie said, well, it took me time to find a lawyer. Kenneth said, okay, in Miami, Florida, it took you time to find a lawyer? Government said, objection. The court said, sustained. Kenneth said, how long did it take you to find a lawyer? Addie said, I don't recall, a few months, yeah. Kenneth said, where were you looking? Addie said, first of all, trying to find someone who actually handles this type of case. Kenneth said, no. My question was, where were you looking? Government says, objection as to form. The judge says, I'm not entirely sure that it is relevant. But I guess the better question might be, what process did you use to try to find an attorney? Addie said, referrals. I also looked at the Florida bar. And I also looked at other victims online and looked to see who their lawyers were. The judge said, now you testified. I'm sorry, not the judge, Kenneth. Kenneth said, now you testified and said that according to you that R. Kelly signed that program or put information in that program. Addie said, yes. Kenneth said, what time did the concert end and when you went to see it? Addie said, I don't know what time the concert ended. Kenneth said, what time when you actually left this room that you said he was in? Addie said, I'm not aware of the time. There was no clock in there, so I'm not aware. Kenneth said, what time did you get back in your car? Addie said, I'm not aware of that time. Kenneth said, now, who drove you to the concert? Addie said, excuse me? Kenneth said, who drove you to the concert? Addie said, I drove myself. Kenneth said, you sat with an adult. Am I correct? Addie said, yes. Kenneth said, the adult who gave you the ticket, according to you, am I correct? Addie said, yes. Kenneth said, and when R. Kelly announced, according to you, that females were invited back to get an autograph, but there was an age requirement of 18, did you mention to the adult that you were going backstage? Addie said, I don't understand that question. Kenneth said, you testified and told us that R. Kelly made an announcement that he was giving autographs to folks who were 18. Addie said, no. I said he gave an announcement that you could come in the back in the dressing room if you were 18 or and older. Kenneth said, if you were 18 and older. Addie said, yes. Kenneth said, and did you tell the adults that you were with that you were going backstage? Addie said, everybody in that room was an adult. Kenneth said, no. My question to you is that did you tell the adults that you were with that you were going backstage to get an autograph? Addie said, I don't understand the question. What adults are you referring to? Kenneth said, you testified earlier and said you were seated next to adults to an adult who gave you all access pass. Am I correct? Addie said, my mom gave me the all access pass. She was not present. Kenneth said, okay. And my question is, was there an adult with you? Addie said, no. The lawyer said, you and your girlfriend were attending the show alone? Addie said, my girlfriend was 19 years old. I was 17 years old. And yes, it was a family venue. All right, y'all. We're at page 1757. Are y'all tired of listening or y'all want me to keep going? Y'all tired of listening or do y'all want me to keep going? If you want me to keep going, put a 1 in the chat. If you're saying Atlas hang it up tonight, get back to it tomorrow, put a 2 in the chat. You want me to keep going, put a 1 in the chat. Also, if you could do me a favor, please. Let's see, 1757. You could do me a favor and go over here. You could please hit the like button on the video if you are enjoying getting this information. Also, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share the video. Thank you. Okay, I see 1, 1, 1, 1. Keep going. 1, 1. You sound tired. Oh, yeah, I just got off work 100. I've been working since 7 this morning. But it's all good. It's all good. We got it. Hey, you see this shirt? What does this shirt say? No days off. We getting it in over here. We getting it in over here. All right. If y'all could please take a minute to like the channel. Push the like button. Subscribe if you haven't before, and share. All right, we're gonna go a little bit harder, y'all. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep pushing. Let's get it going. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. So we're at 1757. All right. All right. So Kanik says, my question was, you and your girlfriend were attending alone without any other adults. Addie says, no, there was no adults. Kanik said, okay, now, and according to you, R. Kelly had sex with you and you ran out of the room. Addie says, afterwards, yes, we left. Kanik said, at first you left. The judge says, she says afterwards. Addie said, afterwards we left. Hey, y'all, let's get the likes up. Y'all help me out. I got 93 in here. Y'all could take a minute, click out of this video, hit the like button, and come right back in. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Y'all are awesome. All right. Kanik said, and you sure he didn't sign the program before you left, according to you? And he said, no. Kanik said, when was it in the process that he signed the program? Addie said he signed the program when the room was full with other personnel there. He stopped the interview and was signing the programs during that time. Kenny said, and you said press was in the room. Addie said, yes. Kenny said, you also said that you were escorted back to the room by African American bouncers. Addie said, that's what they look like to me. Yes. Kenny said, what does an African American bouncer look like? See, he asking dumbass questions. What does an African American bouncer look like? What kind of question is that to ask? Government said objection. The judge says, I will sustain it as to form. Do you want to ask what a bouncer looks like? Mr. Canick said, well, she described the person as an African American bouncer. So the judge says, why did you think they were bouncers? Addie said, because they were a part of his entourage. Canick said, how do you know they were a part of his entourage? Addie said, because they communicated. Thank you, y'all. Thank you, West Coast Bells. Appreciate y'all. Canick said, so that's the only thing that made you come to the conclusion that they were a part of his entourage? Addie said, well, they were the ones that escorted everybody out of the room when we asked them to. Canick said, so you don't know if they were working for him or for the venue. Addie said, I wouldn't know. Canick said, yeah, but you make this assumption that they were a part of his entourage and that they were African-American bouncers. Am I correct? Addie said, I don't understand your question. Canick said, you just testified a short while ago that you didn't know whether or not they worked for him or worked for the venue. Remember telling us that? Addie said, I'm assuming if they're engaging with him and communicating with him and he's telling them orders that, yes, they were for him. Canick said, so your testimony here is based on your assumption then. Am I correct? Addie says, well, they're the ones that brought us back there. Kenny said, no, that's not my question. That's not my question. Is that your testimony is based on your assumption? Am I correct? Addie says, my testimony is based on my experience. Ooh, good job, Addie. Kenny said, you testified and told us that you hadn't been to an RKelly concert before. Remember telling us that? Addie says, excuse me, can you please repeat? Kenny said, do you remember telling us that you had not been to a RKelly concert before? Addie said, that's correct. Kenny said, how many concerts had you been to before attending the RKelly concert? Addie said, I never went to another concert before. Kenny said, so what experience are you talking about? Addie said, excuse me? Experience as far as what? The concert? Kenny said, you said that you were basing your... Y'all listen to how Cannon is tricky. She talking about her experience as far as her experience by being with this man and getting raped by this man. And this idiot's trying to twist her words around to make it so she talking about her experience of going to freaking concerts. Am I the only one that see this? Ugh. Kennick said, you said that you based your that you were basing this on your experience and that you had never been to an R. Kelly concert, correct? Or a concert, right? The judge says he is asking you about the bouncers. Addie says, they approached us when they guided us to the dressing room. Kenneth said, now, I asked you earlier about what adults, if any, that you were seated next to in the concert was a member of your party. Do you remember me asking you that? Addie said, there was no adults with us. Kenneth said, okay. Now you remember in that interview you had with the government, you told the government, just a second, that you and Lily stayed in the VIP section alone with her mother's friend. Remember telling that to the government when you had the interview with them. Hold on. Let me reread that. Let me make sure I'm understanding. Let me read this again. Kenneth said, okay. Now you remember in that interview you had with the government, you told the government, just a second, that you and Lily stayed in the VIP section alone with her mother's friend. Remember telling that to the government when you had the interview with them? Addie said, no, there was no adults with us. Kenneth said, so if the prosecutor's office wrote it down in their report, they got it wrong. Am I correct? Addie said, I don't know. I didn't look at their report. Kenneth said, and you didn't tell them that during your interview. Am I correct? Addie said, I don't understand the question. Kenneth said, what I just read you, according to you, is you didn't say that during the interview to the government. Am I correct? Addie said, no, there was no adults with us. Kenneth said, okay. And you will concede, however, that you did have meetings with the government and told them that you said happened. Hold on. And told them what you said happened to you on that particular night. Am I correct? Addie said, yes. Kenneth said, and you also concede that the people who were in the room when you gave that information at this table. Am I correct? Addie said, yes. Kenneth said, and you will concede that you, as you imparted the information to them, that they wrote it down. Am I correct? Addie says, yes. Kenneth said, and you saw them writing. Am I correct? Addie says, yes. Kenneth said, may I have a few more moments, Your Honor? The judge said, sure. Kenneth said, do you remember at some point speaking with someone by the name of Mayweather? Addie said, no. Kenneth said, isn't it a fact that you told the government that you eventually spoke to someone by the name of Mayweather and that person helped you to make contact with the right people? Addie said, no. Kenneth said, and again, if that's in the report, the government made an error, correct? If it's in the report, then it's an error, correct? Addie said, I have no idea. Kenneth said, now, may I have a second? The judge says, sure. Kenneth said, now, before you came here today to give testimony, you had met with the government. Am I correct? Addie says, excuse me? Kenneth said, before coming here this morning and speaking to the jury, you spoke with the government and went over your testimony. Am I correct? Addie says yes. Kennick said, how many times? Addie said, I'm not quite sure. Kennick said, well, when was the last time? Addie said, yesterday. Kennick said, and how long was that? Addie said, I'm not certain. I didn't keep track. Kennick said, now, did you have an approximation? Probably, Addie said, probably an hour. Kennick said, do you remember what time you got there into their office? Addie said, 1. Kennick said, do you remember what time you left? Okay, y'all, I'm going to have to stop there because, so what page am I stopping at? I'm stopping at page 1762. So when I pick this back up, 1762, I'm going to start at the top of 1763. Now, if y'all would do me a favor, on this video, I want you to leave your comments on this video after I get off the video. Leave your comments, ask your questions. I will come on and read them later. I will read your comments. I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. Give y'all my thoughts on what we just read in the comment section at the bottom of this video. Please leave your comments in the video. Please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button and share the video. We are about to at 7 o'clock and 15 minutes. Anyone who would like to celebrate with us, we are having a survivor appreciation night for the victims who right now are getting totally slaughtered by people on social media and, you know, putting them down. And some of them are feeling the pressure of coming forward and speaking their truth. And so we, as the supporters of any type of victims, whether it's males, females, anyone who is being taken advantage of and who decides to come forward to speak their truth, we stand up for those people. Whether it's you, your mom, your son, whoever, we're going to stand in the gap for you. So we're going to do the same thing for these queens. I don't think people understand how hard and difficult it is to get on that stand and face their predator or their monster face to face and say, you did this to me. But we want the victims, which we call also survivors, that we support you, we love you, and tonight we are going to celebrate you and give you love and dedicate songs to you and read you poems and things like that, okay? So it is going to be in about 7 o'clock, so here in about 12 minutes, y'all, we're going back live. I'm going to be going through another program, but I set the reminder already, so y'all could please join us over there if you want to celebrate with us. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be a blessing. So thank y'all for coming over here. Please hit the like button on the way out. If you would like to be a blessing to help us get these transcripts, please send your cash apps to $ThisBlessedHouse. When you send the cash app, put in the description for transcripts or just put your email address in. If you put your email address in, I will know exactly what it's for. I will send you all of the transcripts that I have. Right now, we are up to day 9. We still need to get 10, 11, 12, and 13. And so that's where we at, okay? But listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all very much for tuning in today. We about to go celebrate some of these survivors, okay? I will holler at y'all later. Peace.
Oh, 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 no.
I don't need negative energy, wrap me in positive synergy. I have been doubted through life, been never done that with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong, they're struggling too long. This song is for you, I'm proving you wrong.
Get out my way, get out my way, get out my way, get out my way.
I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.